Psalms 19:7, King David declares that the Torah, the law of the Lord, is perfect, renewing the soul. So is David wrong or right? And then this brings up some really good avenues that we can go into about modern day belief of morality. You know, our culture has certainly changed and shifted. If we talk about slavery in any sense, you're going to have the cancellation mob is going to come out in droves. Well, the fact of the matter is that if we look at the Torah, first of all, the word for slave and servant are the same word in the Hebrew, but nonetheless, if you look at the Torah and the laws on slavery, what happened in America, and every time you talk about slavery in the Bible, you have to preface it with this. But what happened in America, and you have to preface it, but what happened in America was not slavery. What happened in America was called kidnapping. And according to the Torah, according to God's law, a person who kidnaps another person, it gets what? The death penalty, right? So you have to, you get the death penalty if you kidnap someone. And so what happened in America that we call American slavery, that we call slavery, this was not, in fact, historically throughout the world, slavery has not been a biblical acting out of what the Bible prescribes. Also,
Eved had an opportunity to go free.
Exactly. If you employ, and I think we could say employ a slave, that is a covenant member, that slave can only be a slave for 6 years. They go free on the 7th year, right?
Unless they willingly say, "I love my master. I want to stay with my family."
Right.
You're so right to point out that the use of the word slave is so burdened with the last 200 years, of colonialism. When we go and study the Torah, we have to let all those expectations and assumptions go, and let the Torah do our best to hear the Torah in its own terms.
Right. So
well, not only that, Paul. What does Paul say so many times? I'm a doulos. I'm an Eved of Yeshua. James chapter 1, verse 1. He says he's a servant of the God the Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. That's his brother, his flesh and blood little brother. He's saying, I'm my brother's slave. Okay. What does that mean? Yeah, that's when we enter in the biblical view, we have to understand, because it touches on what is obedience, what is truly mine and what is not mine. Paul says in Galatians, if you belong to Christ, if you belong to Messiah, that literally you belong to him, then you are children of Abraham, and you are heirs according to the promise. In other words, our adoption into the family, into the covenant blessings of the Abrahamic promise, is through becoming someone else's property, right? What is redemption? It means I'm not my own. See, and this is the thing that,
slaves to sin or slaves to righteousness, right? You're a slave no matter what.
Yeah. I don't know how the Arminians, because they're not thinking, they don't seem, at least the ones I've heard, don't seem to be privileging the sovereign covenantal framework to understand ownership of a person. I am not my own. If you belong to Messiah, it means you are not your own. And that's the world we get into. It's not like I'm free and I own a slave. Abraham considered himself a servant of God. Abraham himself was a slave. So it's not like you have a non-slave owning a slave. It's a big topic. It's a good topic.
Well, so slavery is not the only thing that was brought up in this. So is killing a woman because she wasn't a virgin on her wedding night moral? So once again, when people don't want to have conversations, when they want yes or no answers, then it's pretty clear that the person does not have a grasp of the breadth of the laws of Torah, because the answer is actually no, not necessarily. Right? if a woman is raped, or if a woman is, what happens if a woman and a man consensually have sexual relations, and then it's found out? What happens? Well, the father has the right to say that the man has to marry her. But then what happens if he says no? What if the father says, I don't want this man to marry my daughter? Do they kill her? No, they don't. So then what happens? Well, there might be shame in terms of her not being a virgin. But if that is disclosed first, so really the law of a woman not being a virgin on the wedding night is if she is given in betrothal to a person and she says that she is a virgin even though she is not.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.